As the project manager for 200 Mass, which is the first office building that goes over the platform at Capitol Crossing, some of the unique features of the site include the fact that it's LEED Platinum and beyond. So the owner spared no expense in this building. They really want to uniquely market the trophy class office buildings. A building this large with this much curtain wall, it's quite a bit of shades to get and a very tight schedule on the project. So going with a company like Mecho, they gave us, they assured us at the beginning of the project they'd be able to fabricate the shades in time to meet the construction schedule and meet the quality requirements the owner was expecting. We're largely complete with 200 Mass now. Looking back on the shade installation process, it really went very smoothly. So hiring high quality subcontractors like Goulin Brothers and their supplier Mecho is how we ensured we successfully completed 200 Mass Ave. I think now that the sensors are fully functioning in the building, it's really neat to walk through at different points in the day and kind of see the shades go up and down on their own. Especially, different days. You get a really bright sunny day versus a partly overcast day. It's really cool how it operates.
As the architect of Capitol Crossing, we have a long relationship with the developer on this project, Property Group Partners. We also have a long relationship with the consultants with whom we chose to partner in executing this project. There was enough inherent complexity in this project involved, one, with building in the District of Columbia, and two, with building over an existing highway, that we felt it was absolutely imperative to partner with a strong group with whom we had a lot of experience. I think in this case the aspiration was a Class A office building situated as it is with expansive views all around to take advantage of those views. Access to sun, to views, to daylight is critical to the comfort of any occupant of a building, and the comfort of an occupant directly relates to their productivity, to their happiness in the environment. Maintaining the views is one thing. Controlling the light coming into a space is another without obscuring it completely. And you want a shading strategy that adjusts over the course of a day. The envelope of the building, in this case the curtain wall system, is the building's interface with the world around, with the environment. And as such, it is the most important component of a high performance building. In this case, of a LEED Platinum Plus compliant building. I think there's a necessity in this market, given the competition, to come in with a highly sustainable product. Mecho and their system of controls and sensors allowed us to control from a central point the movement of these shades over the course of a day. And it also allowed us the additional benefit of being able to tie in some other elements of the curtain wall system into the Mecho control system. And it came down to more than just cost for us. It came down to the people on the ground, to the people in the room with us. We needed people who could speak to their own product and people who could integrate with the design team seamlessly. What we've appreciated in working with Mecho throughout was the fact that they made it easy. They made it easy in the design process, they made it easy in our interactions with the contractor, and I think they've made it easy for a potential tenant in the space.
Sustainability has been an issue for 20 years. I know Mecho was an early adopter because I was a very early adopter. That's what I see as most critical right now. My name is Carrie Laughlin. I'm with Interiors and Sources magazine, and I work on the sales side and bring the most innovative products to our readers. I mean, you don't hear anything. If it happens to be at a university in the classroom, no disruption. If you have a sleeping patient in the hospital, no disruption. If you are in your hotel, I mean, it's so quiet, no noise pollution whatsoever. So I think that Mecho has always been a brand that people depend on and rely on. The way it's built is a nice profile, so that's not going to interrupt design at all. And then I love that it's not wasting energy, so people will actually use it.
Hello, my name is Matthew Jarmel, and I'm an architect. I've practiced architecture for approximately 28 years and been very active in commercial design of schools, medical facilities. Very different experience. Interestingly, both shades look and appear to be the same, but they're actually quite different. The traditional shade is difficult to lift up and pull because of its length and the associated weight of the shade with the length. So a little bit of effort to lift it, and I think that could be problematic for somebody that's either younger or older or may have some physical ailments in a situation where the Mecho shade was very easy to lift. Pretty much one arm, just pull it down and it went right up and right down. Smooth, no real effort of strength to put into lifting the shade. And what Mecho does is they clearly have a product that makes the shade easier to use.
In virtually every building we're doing today, you're trying to reduce the amount of energy that's being consumed. And in fact, many government agencies and schools are setting new lower standards for energy usage. So you need to contribute to reducing energy in almost any way you can. I hardly hear anything, and that's important in the workplace. You don't want people to be disturbed by a shade going up and down, particularly if it's automatic and they're not expecting it. As we're trying to maximize daylight in just about any building type we do today, that also means you need to control that daylight, particularly in a hot climate, a low west setting sun. So the Mecho shades are actually very important at helping to control the daylighting. I would definitely recommend the new Mecho shade DC motor because it's going to help us use less energy. It's already a great product. Now you know you can help contribute to if you're trying to get LEED or just simply use less energy.
My name is Susanna Tavera, and I just experienced the new Mecho 5X roller blinds. Okay, so it's definitely heavier than the first one I tried, but surprisingly for 24 feet, it's pretty easy to roll up. It was a lot easier to operate, and especially the 24-foot long one, it was super easy for me to open and close it just by my own weight alone, just by pulling it with one hand, so that was surprising to me. I like that it's super easy to use, and I like that they all stay the same height off the floor consistently. I would recommend Mecho 5X roller shade.
My name is Don Fiore, Heinz & Fiore Architects. I just had a chance to experience the Mecho Shade 5X. Found that for the oversized shade or for a larger shade, seemed to be a much easier application, much more comfortable pull, a lot less resistance. Seemed to be something that was a very nice application for something that's quite often experienced to be a little bit difficult to operate, and especially for the oversized or larger shades. I definitely recommend the 5X. As I said, the feel of it, it seems to be addressing what would be the normal issues with the larger shade.
I'm John Goodwin from Goodwin Brothers Shades. I've been involved in the project since its pre-design stage. I've been in the business since 1985, and that's my experience.
And he's the owner of the company?
Yeah, I'm the owner of the company. As you can see, the shades are installed. It's a fully functional automated system, and there's not one tenant in the building yet. which is a remarkable thing. It's a kind of a new idea that property group partners wanted to bring, into the construction of the building, and frankly, we've, in talking with Mecho Shade, we're probably one of the first ones that have done this in the country. But Mecho has been the company that we've always chosen as our #1 vendor to lead with, and there was, in my mind, no other solution for the project and the way this was going to go.
Mecho is the leader in building automation. So when you come with a scope this large, it just made sense to go with them, as the automation projects we've done previously have been Mecho, and we know it works. The other good challenges that Mecho on a project this size deals with is, once we had a fabric selection and a motor selection and approved shop drawings, we communicate with each other on the time frame of the building. That's where they were really good on committing to the time frames, and we can be transparent to our customer. It's a challenge for them. They have to make sure they have all the fabric for 2,000 shade bands in stock, ready to be made at their plant. The same with 1,000 motors, which is on this. So there's a lot of parts and pieces when you work together with a company like Mecho, through communication, that you're prepared for the time frames that are accelerated in construction. And we're proud that we delivered a building this size on time, with our customer happy, with great vendor support from Mecho.
I'm really proud of our group. It's a trophy job that we went after, and we were able to deliver, and we hope that this is the first of many with this team.
Automation in senior living is important to make the environment as comfortable as possible for those that live there. I'm Libby Laguda. I have my own firm in Charleston, and it is L2D Design. And so I specialize in healthcare and senior living environments. Wow, that's less sound than turning on a light switch. The DC low voltage will be of great benefit in senior living and healthcare. Everybody, as they age, doesn't want to be labeled as whether they can do their activities of daily living or not. That's not what they want to be labeled as. What they want to be able to do everything they've always done with grace. And the more we can help them achieve that, the better we make them feel. I would recommend the Whisper Shade DC motor because it is so incredibly silent and so such a difference in what we've seen before in hospitals and in senior living.
We believe our buildings, our floor plates, our design, our amenities, and the flexibility and level of finish that we've put into the buildings allows the tenants to take advantage of that on every aspect. We are lucky enough at Capital Crossing to have all 4 sides with view and with light. In Capital Crossing, we've achieved that through the materials that you see on outside the buildings, the efficiencies of the building skin. We like the floor-to-ceiling glass. We like the cantilevered concrete floors that allow the perimeter to be columnless, giving the space along the perimeter of the building a different look and a cleaner look. The one thing about having a glass box is that you have to deal with the heat gain within the building, and you have to deal with sunlight exposure on all 4 sides. So our mechanical systems, our electrical systems are all the state-of-the-art, best technology that is available. We have introduced and used for many years in our buildings Mecho, and that is an automated shade system that tracks
with the sun. And we started using Mecho products back in probably 2006. And so I'd like to say that we have both evolved over the last 10 or 12 years to bring the technology to our buildings. So the shades track with the sun. They'll take into account not only each day the angle of the sun, they'll take into account the weather that is approaching. What Mecho allowed us to do was implement a proactive system working with lights, mechanical systems, and shades to be able to understand that we were going to get direct sunlight. So they really take on a life of their own. But being able to knit that back together and introduce state-of-the-art technologies towards sustainability, better infrastructure, efficiency, and quality. The quality of the products that we have created in the buildings, as well as the products that operate the building, are key aspects, and those are the things that will live beyond our development time frame in bringing this project forward.
My name is Joseph Bruno. I'm an architect. I've designed over the years schools, commercial office buildings, and private residences. When I'm designing a building, it's very important that the shades, when they're in the open position, it's vitally important that they be at the same elevation so that the building is always looking its best. Typically, if shades are at different elevations, the building tends to look a bit sloppy. And with the Mecho 5X having the ability to do 3 large shades on one clutch allows the shades to be at the exact same position at any given time. I would recommend the Mecho 5X.
My name is Kalina Vaslik. I specialize in fitness and wellness design. That was actually pretty amazing. The benefit of having multiple shades on one pole is the controllability, not only from the end user, but just as an overall aesthetic. Having individual shades kind of creates this undulation that doesn't have an aesthetically pleasing look. So by having a continuous pole for multiple shades, it creates a really ease of aesthetic. By using the Mecho Shade 5X, that would eliminate a lot of the issues of the transfer of the light into the space, the ease of use with the consistency of a continuous line of shade, and a general overall pretty good aesthetic.
Even the smallest things can get your mind off track. So how can you create a place that focus can continue? And I think that when we're talking about the well-being of spaces, it's even very small items like this that make a difference. I'm Fiona Grandowski. I work for Collins Cooper Carusi Architects. Our primary focus is on education from early learning childhood to K through 12 to university. Doesn't sound like anything. Nothing that I think a person in the space would notice, which is amazing. So when you add up the intelligence, the quiet, and the power, I think this is something that I would like to see more of. I think that my clients would like to see it. It has something for the owner, it has something for maintenance, and it has something for us as designers. I think it would be worth it.
When designing for workplace and considering a shade system, I think ease of use is critical. My name is Becky Heinz. I'm an interior designer and I work in Los Angeles and we do workplace design. It's very quiet. You don't even really know that it's happening. It seems like it's a seamless solution, like it's just very straightforward. Mainly I think it would be ease of use and how quiet it is, but I also think it would be appealing in the construction portion that it is the low voltage. It's hopefully really simple and easy, no nonsense to install, and I think that would, the easier you can make it, the better. When I think Mecho, I think top of the line. I just think it's a trustworthy name and product. From what I saw, I would recommend the IQ2 DC Whisper Shade.
Hi, I'm John Buckholtz. I'm the president of Buckholtz Architects. This feels like the standard shade. It works well, it goes up. Already I can tell that this shade pulls much easier. The mechanism that this is using is much easier to pull. Got to see the new Mecho 5X roller, and I think it's great. It's much easier. I can feel the difference between between a normal shade and their products. It's quieter, it's faster, so I see its use for us in the future to be able to continue to specify Mecho shade.
I think having a system that can react to daylighting without you ever having to think about it, without you ever having to hear it, is kind of the goal. My name is Mackenzie Gomez. I work at Reese Associates in Dallas, Texas. I'm an interior designer. I specialize in senior living and corporate commercial work. Wow, it's virtually no sound. No, I definitely like how quiet it is because I have worked in a space with loud shades and it's extremely distracting and everyone turns their head and looks whenever they operate. In our corporate design projects, you have to design for everybody. A lot of the times you're not getting the same shade in the different spaces, so I think catching these structures at the beginning of the design phase, making sure that we're unifying this, getting it all on the same control system so that you don't have that undulation from the exterior. I would definitely recommend the new Whisper Shade DC.
I think some of the attributes that really jumped out at me initially, seeing the IQ2 DC product, is just, it was very quiet, obviously, hence the name. I think it looks tailored, it looks integrated into the window, perimeter. It's not disruptive, so you don't have that distraction in the middle of the workplace. My name's Jacqueline Hunter. I'm with Corgan. We are an architectural and design firm specializing anywhere from aviation, critical facilities, workplace design, healthcare, education. I don't hear anything. So seamless. It's really nice. What I really like about the Whisper IQ2 shade is just the quiet, seamless nature of it. I think it's a really intelligent product. I'm excited to spec it in the future, especially for studio projects. I see the automation process, the fact that it is a DC product and it has that capability, I think that allows you to kind of challenge the contractor when it comes to the value engineering process. I hate to cut design over something that is just cost related if it can make the function of the project and the design work better. From what I've seen so far, I would absolutely recommend the Whisper DC product. I think that you know, it's definitely applicable in most design applications and industries. So.
Marianne McNeil. I work for Bullock Tice Associates. I sort of specialize in military facilities. Okay. It's amazing. The new Whisper Shade DC is barely audible. I just basically hear, as you say, a whisper. I can see the Whisper Shade DC being used on any project that requires the electrical shade, just the aspects of controlling daylighting and allowing you to maintain the visibility to the outdoors, the intelligence, the quietness of the motor, and the flexibility, the power, everything. I would recommend the IQ2 DC motor.
My name is Asha Perez. I work at KAI Design in St. Louis, Missouri, and we actually work in different market sectors from corporate to healthcare to education. We touch it all. So the new IQ2 DC is very quiet. I noticed that as soon as you started lifting it. The attributes that I find the most interesting in the IQ2 DC is the fact that it uses a DC motor. It's low voltage, it's very smooth, it's very easy to operate, and it's functional. And the reasons why a client would prefer DC motors, I think it all goes back to working with the contractor and who's installing that mechanism. If the designer is educated about what DC is and what it provides for the clients, you can then educate the client, and it's a win-win situation. I would recommend the new IQ2 DC based off of what I saw today, yes.
My name is Sandy Goodman. I'm with CRGA Design, and we specialize in healthcare design. That's quiet. Very nice. So when I think of Mecho, I do think of trusted performance, because I know that if I specify a Mecho shade, it's going to function properly, the company's going to stand behind it, and I'm not going to have to worry about it as a designer that my client's going to come back later with problems and issues, right? And to me, the IQ2DC is fitting the bill on future-proofing the environment as well. And I trust Mecho because they stand behind their products. But anything that we can do as designers and anything that healthcare providers can do to help make the environment adaptable for the future without disrupting the existing environment, right? We get crunched on the construction side to get it done faster, get it done easier, get it done quicker, right? So anything that can be done from that regard to help consolidate that schedule is a benefit as well. So I would say that Mecho is driving innovation in healthcare design because they are staying out in front of what is coming and adapting, making the environment more adaptable to future changes. And that's critical in a healthcare environment.